Good afternoon and welcome once again to DuPage Medical Group Field here in Joliet, Illinois, where the University of St. Francis takes on Mount Mercy University in Game 2 of a doubleheader. 8-2, that was our final score in Game 1. St. Francis took out Mount Mercy, trying to make it a sweep now as Kevin Cardis takes the mound to start our ball game. We're in the top of the first inning and the leadoff man is Cale Lamb. First pitch of the contest is a fastball outside for ball one. We're underway, 3:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Terry Bonadonna with you here on the call for today's doubleheader. This is a 9-inning affair now after Game 1 went 7 innings. 2-0 the count on Cale Lamb. Cardis, the pitcher for St. Francis, making his second start of the year, third appearance. So far 0-1 with a 13.5 ERA as Lamb shoots that ball to right center field. It's a gapper all the way to the wall. Lamb's got at least 2 bases here. He's going to try for 3, and it looks like he'll make it into third base easily. It's a leadoff triple and a great start to this one for the Mustangs. Well, they got off to a good start in Game 1 as well as they scored a run in the first inning. Not quite that far yet, but a great effort to begin this inning to try to get them at least 1 run. Lamb stands at third base, and he's now 4 for 4 as part of the doubleheader. He went 3 for 3 with a double in Game 1, and now a triple here to start Game 2. Brings up Jake Farr. Farr swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Farr was the third baseman in Game 1, and he hit 5th in the lineup. He's the first baseman, batting 2 here in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Checks his swing and takes the ball up high, 1-1. Rest of the numbers on Kevin Cardis so far this year. In those 2 games he's pitched, he's thrown 5 1/3 innings, allowing 8 runs on 10 hits with 5 walks and 4 strikeouts. His next pitch taken upstairs. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. A little wild to begin today's game. 4 of his first 6 pitches have missed the zone. The only one that hit to Lamb was stroked out to right center field for a triple. There's a strike over the inside corner, 2-2. Only 2 walks were issued by St. Francis pitching in Game 1 of the doubleheader, both of them to Colin Schrader, including one to lead off the game. I'll read you the entire starting lineup in just a moment as the 2-2 pitch comes in. Low and away, ball 3. Good block by Adam Cebulka to make sure the runner at third stays put. You've already heard Cale Lamb. Jake Farr batting right now. On deck is the third baseman Spencer Wiskus. Nick Supel bats 4th as the designated hitter. Hitting 5th, shortstop Colin Schrader. Michael Barbado is in left field. The catcher batting 7th is Lyle Feeney. Nick Traisman hits 8th at second base, and batting 9th is the center fielder Joshua Nyans. There's ball 4. It's a walk, and there are 2 men on base with nobody out. Lamb at third, Farr now at first base for Spencer Wiskus. Saints line up very similarly to the way they did in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Only 1 change really to their lineup. That's Eric Maffey out in center field, but he's flanked by Sean Harper and Travis Schoonover in left and right respectively. As that ball's flown into center field, Maffey gets an early chance. It's playable. This is certainly deep enough to score the run as the catch is made for out number 1. Lamb comes in from third base and makes it 1-0 Mount Mercy. For the second consecutive game, they score in the first inning. Wasn't enough for them in Game 1 as St. Francis outscored them the rest of the way 8-1. Still, you'd rather be ahead 1-0 early on than down, and that's where the Mustangs are right now. Ahead for the second straight game as Wiskus drives in the run. Spencer Wiskus picks up the sacrifice fly, and that's his second RBI this season. Ball 1 high, called on Nick Supel. Supel, the designated hitter, went 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the first contest. Batting for the first time now in game number 2. Jake Farr still is at first base. 1 out in the inning now. Kevin Cardis is trying to get a ground ball. Instead, he gets a line drive solidly struck into left center field. Second hit of the inning for Mount Mercy, a single for Supel. That advances Farr to second base. 2 on, only 1 out. 1 run already in, and the batter is Colin Schrader. Schrader went 0 for 2 with a pair of walks and a run scored in the opener. He's got an RBI chance now. 2 men on, 1 down. The pitch. Taken for a ball, 1-0. Not a sharp start to this game for Kevin Cardis, as 3 of the first 4 men have reached. He's thrown 8 balls so far this inning compared to 5 strikes. And now it's 9 balls and just 5 strikes as he misses outside. 2-0. Colin Schrader entered today hitting 160 for the season, but he had walked a team high 4 times. And once again, he's done a good job of getting on base today, and now a balk has been called against Kevin Cardis. So his shaky start gets a little bit shakier still. As Farr advances to third base, Supple is up to second. And that eliminates the chance at a double play, at least a conventional one. You always have something weird happen whenever there's somebody on base. You never know, but the ground ball now would probably score a run instead of ending the inning. Doesn't matter because Schrader hits it in the air out to left center field. It's playable for Sean Harper. Harper makes the catch. Both runners tag, and the man at third comes in to score. It's 2-0. Supple stays at second base. An RBI for Colin Schrader on the sacrifice fly. For Schrader, that's RBI number 1 this year. Second sacrifice fly of the inning. And Mount Mercy leads 2-0. Here's Michael Barbado. Barbado swings the first pitch, chops it right back to the mound. Picked up by Cardis, who throws to first and ends the inning. Mount Mercy scores twice. All things considered, could have been a lot worse for St. Francis. Kevin Cardis settled in at the end and got the last 2 outs on his last 2 pitches. And so as we head to the bottom of the first inning, St. Francis trails just 2-0. Back in Joliet, St. Francis comes to bat in the bottom of the first inning with Travis Schoonover set to lead things off. Right fielder will be followed by the second baseman, John Peterson, and the third baseman, Josh Tetch. I'll read you the rest of the lineup in just a moment, but we're ready for the first pitch from Tanner Lohaus, and it misses inside for ball 1 on Schoonover. Kevin Rada hits fourth as the designated hitter. Foster Heisey is at first base. Ball low, 2-0. Batting sixth, catcher Adam Cibulka. Noah Carraro plays shortstop. Sean Harper hits eighth in left field, and batting ninth, center fielder Eric Maffey. Schoonover flies it into left field, deep down the line. Long run over for Barbado, and he makes the catch on the move for out number 1. Tanner Lohaus gets his first out on his third pitch. Lohaus is making his third start of the season. One of them was a disaster. One of them was a gem for Lohaus. He's 1-1 with a 6.75 ERA. Team leading 9 1/3 innings coming into today. He had allowed 7 runs on 9 hits, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. Opponents batting a scant .237 against Tanner Lohaus this year. His first pitch to John Peterson misses the inside corner for ball 1. Game 1 of today's twin bill. Peterson hit his first home run of the year. It was a 3-run inside the park shot. He went 2 for 3 in the game. Also singled once. He takes a strike here. The count is 1-1. Peterson looked back to the home plate umpire as if to indicate that he had been hit by the first pitch, but it was not granted. Ball outside, 2-1. Instead, it was ruled that the pitch had not grazed his arm. It was simply ball 1. Now the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And he takes outside, 3-1. Both pitchers struggling with their command here in the first inning on a very cold Saturday afternoon. It's ball 4 outside. 6 of the first 8 pitches for Lohaus have missed the zone. And the Saints have a base runner after a leadoff flyout. Now a 1-out walk. And the batter is Josh Tesh. Tesh went 1 for 3 with an RBI triple in game 1. One of 2 triples hit in the game by St. Francis. 2 of their 9 hits. Throw over to first base. Peterson dives back in. The 8-2 win in game 1 was the best offensive showing of the season for the Fighting Saints. 6 of their 8 runs came in the 4th inning, all of those with 2 outs. All of them were unearned. Strike called on Josh Tesh. It's 0-1. It was set up by an error. 6 straight men reached base. 3 singles, a hit by pitch. And then a line drive in front of the center fielder, Austin Hillpiper, which probably would have been a single, except that he tried to make the catch. It slipped in under his glove, ended up going for a home run. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Peterson ran all the way around the bases and plenty of time to beat the relay throw from deep center field. That was the big hit of that first game. Now Peterson stands at first base after a 1-out walk. It's 0-2 on Josh Tesh. And Lohaus throws to first base to check on the runner. 2-0, Mount Mercy leads after a productive first inning. They got a pair of sacrifice flies to bring home the first 2 runs of the game. Another throw to first. Peterson again dives back in ahead of the tag. Shadows have begun to creep in across the field. All of the stands now are in total shade. The 0-2. Ball outside, 1-2. When this doubleheader started today, it was at least sunny. You can deal with the cold temperatures a little bit more when you have that kind of sun. 35 degrees in Joliet today. It's where it was when we started, and that's where it's been pretty much the whole time since. 1-2. Tapper foul, still 1-2. As the Shadows make their way across the field, this second game is going to be a little bit less pleasant for the players, particularly the players not in the game. Right now, St. Francis's dugout is totally in shade. With the runner at first, the next 1-2 pitch is grounded to third base. A fair ball. The throw goes to second, and they get the force at second base. 5-4. Peterson is put out on the fielder's choice. Tesh is safe at first base. 2 outs in the inning, and Kevin Rada will bat next. Brian Mahalik out to argue the call. I think perhaps the argument is that the throw pulled second baseman Nick Trazman off the bag before he made the catch. But that call does go the Mustangs' way. Peterson is out. 2 down in the inning. Saints looking for their first hit. They got a base runner via the walk. Now they're trying to move him up past first base. Kevin Rada steps in for the first time. And the throw goes over to first base. Close play at first. Now it's the Mustangs' turn to complain. They thought they had an out right there. Tesh was safe. It's still a man at first base at 2 outs. First pitch coming to Rada. Goes to first instead. Josh Tesh this season has attempted 2 stolen bases. He's been successful on 1 of those 2 attempts. Tanner Lohaus is keeping a very close eye on him at first base right now. First pitch to Rada is in the dirt. Tesh was not on the move. If he had been, he would have easily had second base stolen because it did skip away for a moment from catcher Lyle Feeney, but not far enough for Tesh to take off after the fact. There's a swing and a tapper foul. Count is 1-1. If Rada reaches base, Foster Heisey bats next. If not, we move to the second inning. There's a grounder to the left side. Scooped up by the shortstop Schrader. His throw to first. The tag is there and the inning is over. The throw pulled Jake Farr off the bag, but Farr was able to apply the tag before Rada stepped on first base. So in the scorecard, it'll read as a simple 6-3 putout. The Saints don't score in the bottom of the first. We go to the second. 2-0 Mustangs. Into the second inning, 2-0. Mount Mercy has the lead. They'll try to add to that with the bottom of their order. Feeney, Traisman, and Nyans coming up this inning against Kevin Cardis, whose first pitch is swung through for strike 1. Lyle Feeney gets his first at bat of the day. He was not the starter behind the plate in game 1. Spencer Wiskus was. Wiskus has moved over to third base here for game 2. So Feeney moves into the starting lineup at catcher. Swing and a miss. 0-2. For Feeney, this is the 6th start of the season. He's 1 for 13 over his first 5. Couple of RBIs. Feeney fouls this one off. Still 0-2. While Feeney is a junior catcher from Fort Dodge, Iowa, transferred over from Iowa Central Community College. Hitting 7th in this one. He'll be followed by Traisman. He moved up a spot in the batting order. Ball high, 1-2. A few more changes made in game 2 of this doubleheader to Jack Dom's lineup. Brian Mahalik. Mahalik only made 1 substitution. Straight up in center field. Maffey in for Nicholson. Grounder up the middle, ranging to his left. The shortstop Carraro picks it up, throws on the move to first base in time. Good play, 1 out. Carraro has flashed the leather a couple of times over at shortstop during today's twin bill. And that one results in the leadoff batter being retired. 3 straight set down by Kevin Cardis after 3 of the first 4 batters of the game reached. Here's Nick Traisman. Traisman is hit by the first pitch. He'll take his base. That's got a sting on a freezing cold afternoon, but Traisman gets the reward at least of being aboard for the first time. First time in game 2. He did have an RBI single in game 1. But he is a one-out base runner in the top of the second inning of this one. Brings up Joshua Nyans. Nyans, like Feeney before him, is getting his first at-bat of the day. Just his second start of the season. He's 0 for 3 at the plate so far this year. Right-handed hitting outfielder in the place of Austin Hillpiper, who started game 1 in center field. Nyans takes first pitch strike. Been a tough start to the season. He'd like to pick it up today in the starting lineup, and he'll reach base. He's hit by the pitch. Back-to-back hit batters. Not much control early on for Kevin Kardas. He's hit 2 batters. He's walked 1. He's thrown more balls than strikes over the first inning and a third. And now he's put Mount Mercy in position to extend their lead, already up by 2 here in the second inning. They've got 2 men on base with 1 down for Cale Lambe. C-A-E-L-L-A-M-B-E. He strokes the first pitch out to center field. A hit for Lambe. Traisman around third base. The throw comes in from center field, and it's a little late. An RBI single for Cale Lambe, who's now 2 for 2 in this game. 5 for 5 in the doubleheader. He's got an RBI, and there are still men at first and second with only 1 out. 3-0 Mount Mercy. Cale Lambe entered play today hitting .269. That average is going way up. 5 for 5 with 3 singles, a double, a triple, and now an RBI as part of this doubleheader. Meeting on the mound between Adam Cibulka and Kevin Kardas. Cibulka trying to settle Kardas into this game. He's fallen behind most hitters. That last one didn't have to fall behind him. The first pitch was sent up the middle for a hit. Lambe has been pretty good at jumping on pitches early in the count. He's 5 for 5 in the doubleheader, and 3 of his 5 hits have come on the first pitch of the at-bat. Here's Jake Farr. Farr is hit by the first pitch. That's the 3rd hit batter of the inning. The last 4 hitters, well, prior to Farr being called back to the batter's box, I was going to say the last 4 hitters had seen a combined total of 5 pitches. And all 4 men reached base, but Farr is called back for not making any effort to get out of the way of that last one. The Saints catch a break. I don't know, he may not have made an extreme effort to move out of the way. I've just got to think, even on a breaking ball, nobody wants to get hit by a pitch when the weather is this cold, because that's a sting that does not go away quickly. But the umpire ruled that Farr had to come back to the batter's box, and so he has. There's a ball outside. It's 2-0. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen at the conclusion of this at-bat, but for the time being, at least, a huge difference. Instead of bases loaded with Wiskus coming up, it's runners at first and second, and Kardas still has the opportunity to retire Farr here. 2-0 pitch. Strike over the outside corner, 2-1. After the leadoff man was retired on a ground out, this inning has featured back-to-back hit by pitches and a single. 1 run is in so far for Mount Mercy. They lead 3-0 in the top of the second inning, and game 2 of a doubleheader. Kardas comes set for the 2-1. Checks the runner at second base, a long look, and finally time is called in the batter's box. That's Nyans at second, Lambe at first. High pop-up, shallow center field. The infield fly rule has been called as the second baseman John Peterson makes the catch. And that's out number 2 this inning. So far, getting called back to the batter's box after he had initially been hit by a pitch turns out to be a huge benefit to St. Francis. Still 2 men on base, 2 outs now though for Spencer Wiskus, who has an RBI today. No official at bat on the sacrifice fly. First pitch to Wiskus is swung on and flown deep down the right field line. If that's fair, it's trouble for the Saints. It is just foul. Just foul by inches. It would have been 2 runs if it had been about 6 inches over to the left. Instead, it's strike 1. An inning that was shaping up to be a disaster for St. Francis is starting to look better. They're seemingly getting the breaks that they need right now, all of them. A hit by pitch was called back when Farr didn't make any effort to move out of the way. And now a potential extra base hit, a 2-run extra base hit, ends up falling just inches into foul territory to save a couple of runs for the moment. 0-1 on Spencer Wiskus. Cardis from the stretch, sets, and the next pitch is fouled back by Wiskus for strike 2. Three runs so far in this game for Mount Mercy on 3 hits. They've had 6 base runners so far. Wiskus grounds it out to left field, just out of the reach of a diving Noah Carraro. Nyans comes around third base to score. Lamb pulls up at second. The throw goes behind him, but he's back to the bag safely. It's 4-0 Mount Mercy. An RBI single for Wiskus, and it comes with 2 outs. That's the 3rd time in the doubleheader that they've been able to come through with a 2-out RBI hit. Spencer Wiskus came into this one with no RBIs in the season. He's got 2 in 2 plate appearances in this game. Here's Nick Supel, 1 for 1 with a single in the game. Supel takes the first pitch strike from Cardis. Mount Mercy had scored just 15 total runs in 8 games this season entering this one. So averaging less than 2 runs per game. But they've got 4, and it's taken them just 5 outs to get there in this one. Ball outside, 1-1, and that's one of the reasons they've been able to score at this rate. Kevin Cardis has not been able to throw strikes consistently. He's got a walk and 2 hit batters, and all 3 of those free base runners have scored. Fly ball out to left field. Sean Harper chases it back. Harper at the warning track. It's over his head. 1 hops the wall. 2 runs are going to score for Mount Mercy. It's a double for Nick Supel, and the score is 6-0. Supel is 2 for 2. He's got 3 RBIs in the doubleheader. And more 2-out scoring for the Mustangs. That's now 5 of their 8 runs in the doubleheader, scoring with 2 outs. Here's Colin Schrader. He's got an RBI with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Schrader takes strike 1 over the outside corner. Well, Cardis is starting to throw the ball in the zone a little bit more consistently. He's been hit around a little bit, though. 3 hits now from the last 4 batters. And that ball misses for a ball. It's 1-1. Pickoff throw to second base, and the runner gets back in safely. Nick Supel's double again gave him 3 RBIs in the doubleheader, first 3 RBIs of the season. He's 3 for 5 at the plate so far today. He had been 0 for 7 on the year coming in. Fouled away to the left side. And Cardis, for the second time, is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. He was not able to put away Wiskus, who was behind 0-2. Wiskus ended up with a single, and now here we are 3 runs later. It's 1-2, and the inning still goes on as Schrader takes a ball outside, 2-2. Schrader is the 8th batter of the inning. If he reaches, Michael Barbato will hit next. Two-two pitch. Lifted in the left field. That's well hit, but it appears to be playable for Harper. Harper backs up and makes the grab. The inning is over. A big inning, though, for Mount Mercy. They put 4 runs on the board on 3 hits, a couple of hit batters. They leave a man at second base. And as we head to the bottom of the second inning, a big lead for the visitors. Mount Mercy on top of St. Francis, 6-0. Bottom of the second inning, Saints have some work to do. Foster Heisey leads things off with his team trailing 6-0. Heisey takes ball 1 low. Foster Heisey in game 1 went 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike over the outside corner. That evens up the count. Entered play today hitting 143 for the season. He's now 3 for 23 on the year as he lines this one on 1 hop to the shortstop, gloved by Schrader, who throws him out. 1 up, 1 down in the in the second inning. Tanner Lohaus has retired 4 of the first 5 batters he's faced today. He walked John Peterson. Hasn't allowed a hit yet. St. Francis out-hit Mount Mercy 9-6 in game 1. Mustangs already have 5 hits in the second game through just 2 innings of offense. We'll be going a little bit longer here in game 2 of the doubleheader. Strike called on Sobolka, 0-1. First game went 7 innings. This one's scheduled for 9. The 0-1 is tapped to the shortstop. Tough play for Schrader. He charges, gloves, throws, and it's thrown away. Sobolka is aboard. Not sure if that's a hit or an error. It's a tough play just because he had to come in so far for it, but a good throw from Schrader would have had Sobolka easily with the catcher running. Saints do have a man aboard, and that man is no longer Sobolka. As usual, the catcher is replaced by the courtesy runner, and then it's Dolan Nicholson doing the running. Maffey did the running for Sobolka when he reached in game 1. Now Maffey's playing center instead of Nicholson, so Dolan Nicholson gets to be the courtesy runner. Noah Carraro swings the first one, chops it to the shortstop. Picked up by Schrader. His play is at first base, and it's in time. 3 straight balls hit to Colin Schrader. He's made 2 of the 3 plays. Nicholson advanced to second on that ground out. And it brings up Sean Harper. Harper went 2 for 3 with a single, a triple, an RBI, and a run scored in game 1. First pitch to Harper is low in the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Eric Maffey waits in the on-deck circle. He'll get his first at-bat of the day if Harper reaches. If not, he'll still get his first at-bat of the day, but it won't be until the 3rd. Time is called in the batter's box by Sean Harper, with Tanner Lohaus taking its time on the mound. Ball outside and off the glove of the catcher Feeney all the way to the backstop. So Nicholson gets to go up to third base, first man to reach third over the first 2 innings for St. Francis. The count is 1-1 on Harper, and now any sort of hit will get Nicholson in for sure. Another ball getting away from the catcher. A wild pitch or a passed ball would score the run as well. 2 outs though. Harper can't simply score the run by putting the ball in play. He needs to come up safely. He swings through a fastball. It's 1-2. Saints haven't hit the ball out of the infield yet this inning, but they've got a man just 90 feet away from the plate. 1-2 pitch. Check swing by Harper. Ball downstairs. And the count evens, 2-2. A late appeal down to the field umpire who said he didn't go around. 6-0 Mount Mercy leads in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Eric Maffey waits for his first at-bat of the day on deck. Counting on Harper to get on base first. Grounder to the left side again. This time it's under the glove of the third baseman, and the throw to first is not in time. Nicholson comes in to score. It's a 6-1 game. It's been Colin Schrader all inning. 3 straight balls had been hit to him. This 4th one would have been hit to him as well, but Spencer Wiskus tried to make the play. It went under the glove of Wiskus. By the time Schrader gloved it and threw to first, it was late. So Harper gets the RBI and the infield hit. They still haven't hit the ball out of the infield this inning, but now they've got a run and a man on for Eric Maffey, who takes strike 1. Eric Maffey this season is hitting .182. He's 2 for 11 with a homer and an RBI. In game 1, he came in as a runner twice and scored 1 run. He takes a ball. That was 1-1. Back to the top of the order after Maffey. Mount Mercy took a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Saints have responded with 1 so far. Ball outside, 2-1. Similar to game 1 of the doubleheader, a lot of offense early. A little more offense in this game than we saw in game 1. But in that one, we did see 4 runs over the first inning and a half. 7 runs have already been scored in this game as Harper is chased back to first on a throw. Hitters count on Maffey. He swings through the 2-1 offering and evens it up. 2-2. Runner at first base, 2 outs. 1 run is in so far for the Saints. Lohaus stares in at his catcher, Lyle Feeney, and gets the sign. He's set. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Tanner Lohaus. And he gets out of the bottom of the 2nd with only 1 run, having scored. After 2, Mount Mercy leads it 6-1. 2 innings down, 7 still to play at DuPage Medical Group Field. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Mount Mercy leads St. Francis 6-1. They've got their left fielder leading off the top of the 3rd inning, and Michael Barbado takes strike 1. Barbado is 0 for 1 in this game with a ground out. He's 0 for 4 so far in the doubleheader. Ball low and away. 1-1. Kevin Cardis is doing the pitching for St. Francis. Still out there for the 3rd, despite his struggles over the first 2 frames. There's a left-hander warming up in the bullpen. Strike over the outside corner. That is 1-2. Colin Kelly is throwing just in case Cardis doesn't sharpen up here in the 3rd. 1-2 to Barbado. In the dirt, good block by Cebulka. Nobody on base, so doesn't necessarily mean anything. You like to see it anyway. 2-2. Fouled off to the right side and out of play. Shadows are now completely in between pitcher's mound and home plate, which usually means advantage pitcher. A little harder for the hitter to see the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand in conditions like this. That ball is flown into left center field, high and deep, playable for Maffey, who scoots over to make the grab. 1 away. Second straight inning in which Cardis has retired the leadoff man, this time on a fly out to left center. That brings up Lyle Feeney. Feeney takes the first pitch, and it's ball 1. Feeney is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He's only at bat of the day so far. Smacks this ball down the right field line, foul and out of play. Count is even at 1. Well, I said it last inning, it remains true into the 3rd. Cardis is starting to settle in with his command. Ball outside, 2-1. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been better than he was the first couple of innings, when he walked 1 and hit 2, and all 3 of them scored. That ball is driven into left center field. Long run Maffey, but he gets there and makes the catch. Good running grab made by Eric Maffey on a ball that was struck well by Lyle Feeney. And that brings up Nick Traisman with 2 outs and nobody on. Traisman was hit by the first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning. Eventually scored. This time he swings the first pitch, deflected off the glove of the pitcher, right over to the shortstop. Guerrero throws to first and ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Mount Mercy in the 3rd. Nice bounce back frame for the starting pitcher, Kevin Cardis. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 6-1. Mount Mercy leads. Bottom of the fourth inning starts with the top of the order for St. Francis. Travis Schoonover swings at the first pitch, grounds it to first. It's bobbled at first base by Jake Farr, but he recovers and flips it to Tanner Lohaus in time for out number 1. Quick start to this bottom of the third inning. First pitch swinging, Schoonover grounds out 3-1. And the leadoff man is set down by Tanner Lohaus for the third consecutive frame. Schoonover now 0 for 2. 6-1 Mount Mercy leads. But their offense was slowed down at least. In the last inning, they were set down in order by Kevin Cardis. John Peterson swings the first pitch and taps it foul for strike 1. St. Francis took the opener 8-2. 6 of their 8 runs scored in the bottom of the fourth inning. Big inning of this game so far was the top of the second when Mount Mercy scored 4 times. It was a line shot up the middle, fielded behind second base on the backhand by Nick Traisman, who throws to first in time. Great play. It knocked the hat off the pitcher Tanner Lohaus. And they're coming out to see if he's okay, and I think he's indicating it didn't really hit him. It just brushed by the bill of his cap. Peterson is out at first base. He's still standing there. He believes, I guess, that he was safe. I believe that one's going to go 1-4-3 because I think it did hit Lohaus. The umpires get together to discuss that play at first base. He's safe. So the call has been reversed. It's an infield single for John Peterson. And a tough break for Nick Traisman, who made a great play on that ball and won't get credit for it in the end. 1-out single for St. Francis. It's their third hit of the game. All of them have been on the infield. In fact, only one man has hit the ball out of the infield so far in the game for the Fighting Saints. That was the first batter of the game, Travis Schoonover, who flew out to left field in the first inning. Josh Tesh is 0 for 1. He grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, and now he bats for the second time. Lohaus has gotten a ton of ground balls. They haven't all worked out for him. Again, 3 infield hits, but he's a ground ball pitcher, so having a man at first base with 1 out, not necessarily a bad time for him. He's looking for the double play as Tesh hits the first pitch in the air and fouls it off to the right side for strike 1. Today is the first of 3 straight, I was going to say 3 straight days with a home game, but that's not true. Saints are in Bourbonnais on Monday, back home on Tuesday. Strike on Tesh, 1-1. But it is the first of 5 straight days with a game. At least 1, 2 today and 2 on Monday. The other ones are all single games. That pitch in the dirt, check swing. Runner goes and makes it into second standing up. The throw down to second base hit him in the back. Peterson is safe over at second base. It's a steal. A 1-out man in scoring position. That's big. That takes them out of double play range. The count is 2-1 on Tesh. 1-2. I think he swung at that pitch. I think the ruling was he did go around as he tried to check his swing. Tesh takes a ball here, even the count. Six to 1 Mount Mercy, but Tanner Lohaus has not been lights out on the mound. Saints have got some base runners against him, trying to break through for a big inning. Time called in the batter's box. Peterson reached on a 1-out infield single just moments ago. He stole second base. For John Peterson, that's the 3rd steal in 6 attempts this year. Tesh fights one off to the right side and rolls harmlessly into the glove of the first baseman Jake Farr, and he carries it to the bag unassisted for out number 2. Peterson does advance to third base, so that's a positive for St. Francis, but with 2 outs, they need a hit now from their cleanup man, Kevin Rada. Rada entered today hitting .250 with 1 RBI so far in the Twin Bill. He's gone a combined 0 for 4, but he has driven in 1 run. He fouls off the first pitch here for a strike. Infield single, a stolen base, and a ground out. That's what got Peterson all the way to third base. He's there right now as Rada is hit by the 0-1 pitch, and he'll take his base. That puts runners at the corners. First man hit by a Tanner Lohaus pitch today. We've had a couple of guys hit. In fact, 4 total, technically 5 total Mount Mercy players have been hit by pitches today. 2 in game 1, 2 in game 2, and there was a third in game 2 that was ruled back as he didn't move out of the way in the batter's box. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Foster Heisey is the batter. Saints trail by 5, but one big swing from Heisey here can narrow that deficit considerably. First pitch is over the inner third of the plate for a strike. It's 0-1. Tall right-hander Lohaus is set for the next one. Upstairs for a ball. Makes the count 1-1. Tanner Lohaus, 6 foot 6 inches tall. He's wearing the short sleeves as well out on the mound. Both pitchers are in this game. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. Pitching mound is still in sunlight. The only position on the field that isn't is third base. And of course the batter's box as well. Heisey skies it out to center field. It's playable. Backing up with a few steps over the right, Joshua Nyans makes the catch and ends the inning. Saints strand 2 in the third. We go to the 4th inning. 6-1 Mount Mercy. Top of the 4th, 5-run lead for Mount Mercy. They're on top 6-1. Joshua Nyans leads off against Kevin Cardis in the 4th and takes ball 1. Nyans was hit by a pitch his first time up. His only at bat of the day so far. His only plate appearance, I guess technically not an at bat. Didn't start game 1. He takes a strike. It's 1-1. He's still looking for his first hit of the season. But that hit by pitch was the second time he's been plunked in 7 plate appearances this year. He taps this one foul, 1-2. Cardis was very wild early in the game, but he's settled in nicely, at least the last inning or so. In the first up, Jake Farr. Farr is 0 for 1 with a pop out to second base. He walked and scored back in the first inning. One out, one on. 5-run lead for Mount Mercy. Kevin Cardis comes set. First pitch to Farr is swung on and fouled off. Strike one. Game 3 of this series is tomorrow. 1 o'clock start time. Weather figures to be a lot nicer tomorrow. Temperature should be in the 50s. Strike called on Farr, 1-2. We've not crept above 35 today. A little bit nicer when the sun was shining. It still is in the outfield, but much of the infield is now covered in shade, and that includes most of the pitcher's mound. So the release point is in shadow now as that ball is looped into center field for a hit. Jake Farr has himself a single as Cale Lamb stops at second. 2 on with 1 out for Spencer Wiskus. Back-to-back base runners after 5 consecutive men had been retired. And I think that's going to be all for Kevin Cardis. Brian Mahalik comes out. He's made the call to the pen, and I believe we're going to get a look at Colin Kelly coming up. Kevin Cardis is done after 3 1/3 innings, trailing 6-1. We've got a pitching change. I'll tell you about the new man in just a moment. Mount Mercy has 2 men on base, 1 out. They lead by 5 in the 4th. Top of the 4th inning, Kevin Cardis is done, but because Brian Mahalik likes those K sounds so much, he's called on Colin Kelly. 2 men on base, 1 out. The batter is Spencer Wiskus, facing Kelly, who's on for the 3rd time this year, 2nd relief outing. He's 0-1 with a 4.5 ERA. In 6 innings pitched this year, Kelly's allowed 3 runs on 7 hits with 10 strikeouts and 4 walks. He comes into a tough spot here in the 4th. Farr's at first, Lamb's at second, Wiskus in the box, and the first pitch misses high for ball 1. Cardis went 3 1/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 1 walk. He hit 3 batters, struck out 1. At the moment, 6 runs allowed, all of them earned, are all charged to Cardis. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And those 6 runs are written into stone, but he could have as many as 8 runs charged to him before all is said and done. The onus is now on Kelly to make sure that these 2 men on base don't cross the plate. 1-1. Kelly to Wiskus. Ball inside, 2-1. Despite the final score of 8-2 in Game 1, we did see some good pitching earlier today. The next pitch comes in behind Whiskas. It's 3-1. Game 1 moved by pretty quickly, done in about an hour and 40 minutes. Because aside from the bottom of the 4th inning, both pitchers moved along pretty well, especially in the later innings after shaky starts. But in this game, we've seen a lot of base runners. Nothing's come easy to any pitcher we've seen, as that ball is foul tipped into the catcher's glove. And it loads up the count on Whiskas. 3-2. A base hit could extend the Mustangs' lead here. Kelly looking for the ground ball. He wouldn't mind a strikeout. Whiskas hits that ground ball right to third base. Tesh gloves it on a short hop, throws to second for one. The relay throw is not in time. 2 outs now in the inning. It's a fielder's choice, 5-4. Farr is out at second base. Lamb advances to third. And Whiskas is safe at first. In Game 1, Whiskas would have been removed for a courtesy runner. This time, he's the third baseman, not the catcher, so he'll do his own running. The batter is Nick Supel, who's already come through several times today. 2 for 2 in this one with a single and a 2-out, 2-run double. He had a 2-out RBI hit in Game 1 as well. He swings at the first pitch here and golfs it foul off to the right side, out of play for strike one. Supel is 3 for 5 overall in the 2 games with his first 3 RBIs of the season. He takes a strike over the outside corner from Colin Kelly. The count is 0-2. 6-1 Mount Mercy leads. They've been threatening to add to that lead, putting 2 men on base with only 1 out this inning, but Kelly is just 1 strike away from stranding those 2 runners and keeping it a 5-run game. Fouled off to the left side. Still 0-2. If Supel does reach, Colin Schrader will bat next. If not, we move to the bottom of the 4th, where St. Francis has their 6, 7, and 8 batters due up. Lined out to center field, off of second base, and that's a hit. 1 run scores. Whiskas around second and into third base on an RBI single from Nick Supel. It's his 4th hit and his 4th RBI of the doubleheader. All of those RBIs have come with 2 outs. And this one comes on an 0-2 count. Impressive hitting there from Nick Supel. 7-1 Mount Mercy leads, and it may not be done yet this inning. They still have 2 men on base. The batter is Colin Schrader. Schrader has flown out to left field twice in this game. One of those times was a sacrifice fly, so he does have an RBI. He takes strike 1. Colin Schrader, the shortstop, was the leadoff batter in Game 1. He walked twice. This time he flies it out to left center. That's playable for Maffey, who scoots over and makes the grab. The inning ends. 1 run scores on 2 hits, 1 hit batter. 2 men are left on base. As we go into the bottom of the 4th inning, our score is 7-1. Mustangs over the Saints. Bottom of the fourth inning, St. Francis trails by 6, and Adam Cebulka swings through the first pitch of the inning for strike 1. Tanner Lohaus back to the mound for Mount Mercy. He's pitched well through 3 innings. Hasn't had a clean inning yet. He's only allowed the 1 run as Cebulka swings and misses for strike 2. That run was scored courtesy of Adam Cebulka. He wasn't the one who scored it. It was the courtesy runner, Dolan Nicholson, who crossed the plate, but it came from Cebulka's hit. He strikes out on 3 pitches this time, swung through them all. And that's the second strikeout of the game for Tanner Lohaus. Leadoff man is retired for the 4th straight inning. The Saints have 3 hits today. They've kept a lot of pressure on Lohaus, but they have only hit the ball out of the infield twice. Once a fly out to left, once a fly out to center. All of their hits have been on the infield. Noah Carraro tries to drop down a bunt down the third base line. Gloved by Wiskus on the charge. The throw to first is in time. Well played by Wiskus. Carraro not able to bunt his way aboard, looking for the 4th infield single of the day for St. Francis. Instead, he's out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mount Mercy added a run to their lead in this top of the 4th inning. They've scored in 3 out of the 4 so far. St. Francis's run came on an RBI infield single from this man, Sean Harper. Back in the bottom of the 2nd, Harper is 1 for 1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Lohaus trying to set the Saints down in short order in this 4th inning. He's thrown just 6 pitches so far, 2 down already. And Harper takes ball 2. If Harper reaches, Maffey bats next. 2-1 pitch. Lined out to left field. That ball sinks in for a base hit. Harper around first base. Hard turn, but he'll hold where he is. A 2-out single for Sean Harper, and for the first time today, Saints have a hit into the outfield. Harper is 2 for 2 in this game. He went 2 for 3 in game 1. Entered the doubleheader just 2 for 21 on the season, but he's gone 4 for 5 today. It's early enough in the season that batting average can shoot up in a hurry. Strike 1 called on Eric Maffey, who struck out swinging his first time at the plate. 4th straight inning. The Saints have had at least 1 base runner. So far, though, they've only been able to turn all those base runners into 1 run. 6 men have reached in total. Off the glove of the catcher Feeney. And it goes to the backstop. The pass ball allows Harper to advance to second base. The count is 1-1 on Maffey. St. Francis gets another man into scoring position. With 2 outs in the inning, a single and a passed ball have moved Harper up to second base. 1-1 on Maffey, looking for his first RBI of the year. Fouls it off of his foot, and the count is 1-2. Take it back. Maffey does have 1 RBI this year. Should have known that. He did hit a home run. A solo homer for his first hit of the year. One-two pitch. Ball a little bit low. The count moves even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harper is at second base with 2 outs. Lohaus looked like he was on his way to a very easy inning. He's had to struggle his way through it now. Still 1 strike away from putting a 0 on the board. Maffey flies it out to left center field. Moving over and shielding his eyes from the sun is the center fielder Nyans, and Nyans makes the grab to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at second base for St. Francis in the 4th. We go to inning number 5. Our score is 7-1 Mount Mercy. Colin Kelly is back on the mound for St. Francis as we start the 5th inning. He got the final 2 outs in the 4th. And his first pitch this inning is up and in on Michael Barbado for ball 1. Barbado was 0 for 2 in the game with a ground out and a fly out. 0 for 5 in the doubleheader. He takes a strike over the inside corner, 1-1. After entering in the 4th inning, Kelly faced 3 batters. He retired 2 of them, but he did give up an RBI single after entering with 2 men on base. Ball outside, 2-1. Kevin Cardis started this one. He went 3 1/3 innings, allowed 7 runs, all of them earned. He's in line for the loss unless St. Francis's offense can make the comeback. 2-2 on Barbado. The Fighting Saints did score 8 runs in the first game, including 6 in 1 inning, so they've got it in them to make this comeback, but it's starting to get late as we move into the 5th. Ball high on Barbado, 3-2. A little bit earlier right now, though, than it was when we were in the 5th inning of game 1, which only went 7 innings total. This one slated for 9. 3-2. Fouled back. This part of the batting order has been handled pretty well by the Fighting Saints so far in the game. Middle of the order. Barbado rolls it weakly to second base. Scooped up by Peterson, who retires Barbado at first base. 4-3 on the first out of the inning. 5, 6, and 7 batters have now gone a combined 0 for 7 in the game. But everybody 1 through 4 and 8 and 9 have reached base at least once, and most of them have scored at least a run, or at least been involved. All of them have been involved in at least 1 run, either a run scored or an RBI. Feeney swings to the first pitch for strike 1. Lyle Feeney is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out to center field. Backup catcher for Mountain Mercy gets the start in game 2 after Spencer Wiskus was behind the plate in the opener. Ball high, 1-1. Ball inside. 2-1. One out, nobody on in the top of the 5th. Colin Kelly trying to retire his 4th out of the last 5 batters. That ball is drilled out to left field. Sean Harper backs up on it, reaches up on the move, and makes a nice catch. That ball was hammered by Lyle Feeney, and a really nice play by Sean Harper is able to rob him of an extra base hit. He had a good read of it off the bat and was able to track it down, never slowing down, going back towards the corner. Looks like that'll be all for Colin Kelly. He pitched an inning and a third, allowed just 1 hit, and he departs. A new pitcher comes in. It's going to be a right-hander. I'll tell you about him in a moment. 7-1, Mount Mercy leads, top of the 5th inning. 7-1 Mount Mercy in the top of the fifth inning. 2 outs, nobody on base. There's a new pitcher on the mound for St. Francis. It's right-hander Tyler Domi. He's been their most effective hurler so far this year. And he faces Nick Traisman. His first pitch is over the outside corner for a strike. Domi this season 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA and 2 relief appearances. In 7 innings pitched, he's allowed 1 run on 4 hits, 1 walk. He has struck out 5. Low and in, 1-1. Colin Kelly went an inning and a third. He allowed 1 hit, no walks. He didn't strike anybody out. Didn't give up any of his own runs, but he did allow 1 inherited runner to score. That one was charged to the starter, Kevin Cardis. There's a line drive up the middle, diving. Can't come up with it. Noah Carraro trying to reach for that ball, but it makes its way out to center field. It's a 2-out hit for Nick Traisman. And the inning goes on. Saints were going for their second 1-2-3 inning of the game. First one came from those 3 hitters, Barbado, Feeney, and Traisman. But Traisman here reaches for the second time today, and the batter is Joshua Nyans. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Looks to bunt his way on, takes the ball, and the snap throw down to first is not in time to catch Traisman. 1-0. Two runs in the first inning of this game for Mount Mercy, 4 in the second, 1 more in the fourth. Domi trying to shut him down in the fifth. Strike 1 called on Nyans. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. Next pitch just misses the inside corner. And the count is 2-1. Including game 1 of this doubleheader, we've seen 5 total pitches now. Pitchers for St. Francis. Errant pickoff throw to first base. Traisman heads down to second. And he's there standing up on the error on the pickoff attempt. So there's another man in scoring position. And of course, 2-out hitting has been Mount Mercy's forte during today's doubleheader. 6 of their 9 total runs in the 2 games have come on 2-out hits. See if Nyans can come through with one right here. He's behind in the count, 1-2. He bunts it behind home plate. And that should be strike 3. I must have the count wrong. So it's 2-2 now. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the number 9 batter. And now presumably with 2 strikes he will not be bunting. Domi checks the runner at second base. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 called over the outer edge. And Domi strikes out Nyans, his first K on the score sheet today. The 5th inning comes to a close. We're halfway through this game. On our way to the bottom of the 5th, St. Francis comes to bat trailing 7-1. Travis Schoonover leads off the bottom half of the fifth inning for St. Francis. Schoonover is 0 for 2 so far in today's game. Takes a ball inside. He flew out to left field back in the first inning, grounded out to first in the third. And for the third time in the game, he is the leadoff hitter. Tanner Lohaus on the mound for Mount Mercy. Has not had a 1-2-3 inning yet, but he's put up zeros in 3 of the first 4. There's a ball on Schoonover. He'll be followed by Peterson and Tesh in the batter's box this inning. Strike called over the outside corner. 3-1 the count. Lohaus working quickly. The next offering misses low. Leadoff walk, first time that the leadoff man has reached in this game for St. Francis. The second walk issued by Lohaus. He's also hit one batter. And now John Peterson, who has not been retired yet in this game. Peterson went 2 for 3, hit an inside the park home run in game 1. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk in game 2. Quick throw over to first base to check on Schoonover, but he gets back to the bag in a hurry. Schoonover is 3 for 4 trying to steal bases this season. Actually, he was 3 for 4 coming in. He stole a bag earlier this afternoon in game 1, so he's 4 for 5 now on the year. Lohaus misses inside on Peterson. 5 of the first 6 pitches this inning have missed the zone from a guy who's had pretty good control for the most part throughout the game. That's up in the zone for a strike. And the count evens up, 1-1. Lohaus sets for the next pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Tanner Lohaus won his last start out in Arizona last week for Mount Mercy. Had a few days off before coming out here to Joliet, and now trying to pick up his second victory of the season. It would be the team's second victory as well if they get it. Throw to first base and Schoonover back in safely. Both teams came in at 1-6 today. Mount Mercy lost their first 6 and then won their 7th game before falling again in the opener of today's doubleheader. Not able to get a winning streak going. The ball's tapped back towards the mound. Lohaus picks it up and throws over to first for the out. Swinging bunt from Peterson as he advances Schoonover into scoring position. So Travis Schoonover is now at second base, 1 out in the inning, and Josh Tesh will be the next hitter. Not an unproductive out there from John Peterson. Saints aren't looking to play for just 1 run here, though. They'd like to put a couple on the board. They've got a long way to go in this game still, but trailing by 6, they're going to need a crooked number somewhere. Tesh hits a hard grounder down the third base line right over the bag. It is a fair ball, and it's thrown away. Wiskus throws it away at first base. A run scores. Tesh is into second base, and instead of 2 outs and a man at third, it's 1 out, a man at second, and a run in. 7-2 is the score on the air. Schoonover held up at second base initially. As soon as the throw was made from Wiskus, he took off, and so when the ball got away at first base, he had no problem coming in. Tesh was able to motor all the way to second base on the play. Here's Kevin Rada. It is a 5-run game once again. Rada is hit by the first pitch from Lohaus. And this inning is not going the way that the Mount Mercy right-hander is expecting. A walk, an error, and now a hit by pitch. And there are 2 on with only 1 out. St. Francis is seriously threatening to get themselves back into this game. They've been down by somewhere between 5 and 6 runs all the way since the top of the second inning. It's a 5-run game right now. It's 7-2. But there are 2 men on with 1 out for Foster Heisey, who swings at the first pitch and grounds it right to second base. Picked up by Tradesman, who throws to second for 1. The relay throw is not in time. It pulled Jake Farr off the bag, in addition to being a little bit late, so it's a fielder's choice. Heisey, hustling down the line, is able to beat it out and keep the inning alive. Rada is retired, 4-6 on the play. Tesh advances to third. They're at the corners with 2 down. And the batter is Adam Cebulka. Cebulka has reached on an infield single and scored. He's also struck out. His third at bat is a fly ball out to right center field. It drops in for a hit. A run scores. Heisey up to second base. An RBI single for Adam Cebulka, who's got 2 hits in the game. And St. Francis is within 4, 7-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Adam Cebulka's had a very productive doubleheader. This is the 4th time that he's reached base. He picks up his 3rd RBI of the season. He's replaced at first base by the courtesy runner, Dolan Nicholson. Noah Carraro is the 7th batter of the inning. He swings through the first pitch from Lohaus. It's strike 1. In the dirt, smothered by the catcher Lyle Feeney, and the count is 1-1. Saints have just 1 hit this inning. It was the RBI single a moment ago from Cebulka. 2 runs are in. A walk, a hit batter, and an error have contributed to this productive 5th inning. Ball outside, 2-1. At 7-3 now. This is as close as the game has been since the 4-run rally in the top of the 2nd inning. And Mount Mercy looking like they were running away with it early. It was 6-0 after 2 innings. 2-1. Fly ball right field foul and out of play. Count is 2-2. There is a right-hander throwing in the Mount Mercy bullpen now, as Lohaus has begun to struggle for really the first time all game. He's pitched a good ball game today, although he doesn't have a 1-2-3 inning yet. He's run into trouble pretty much every frame. Carraro tries to check it up, but he foul tips that one into the catcher's glove for strike 3. Saints' half of the 5th inning is over, but they get themselves back into it with a couple of runs on 1 hit. They leave men at first and second. On our way to the 6th, it's 7-3 Mount Mercy. Top of the 6th inning, 7-3. Mount Mercy leads St. Francis. They'll bring the top of the order up against Tyler Domi on for his first full inning of work. Faced 2 batters in the 5th inning, gave up a single, and then struck out Joshua Nyans to end the inning. His first pitch of this inning comes in behind Cale Land. It's 1-0. Land has not been retired yet today. In game 1, he went 3 for 3. In game 2, he's 2 for 2 with a hit by pitch, a single, a triple, an RBI, and 3 runs scored. He grounds it to the left side. It's off the glove of Tesh, and it ricochets off to the shortstop, but Lamb is safe at first. No play on him over there. He is aboard for the 7th time today. Not an easy play for Lamb, but that was the opportunity to retire Lamb at first base, and Tesh, moving to his left, was unable to haul it in and nicked off of his glove. The leadoff man reaches, and that brings up Jake Farr. He's 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a run in this game. He swings the first pitch and shoots it foul past third base for strike 1. Kevin Cardis started this one for St. Francis. Colin Kelly came in next. Now it's Tyler Domi. Mentioned before, 5 pitchers have been used in the doubleheader overall by the Fighting Saints. This is day number 1 for them of 5 straight days with a game. At least one game. 7 games over the course of 5 days. There's a grounder to short. Picked up by Carraro. Flips to Peterson for 1 on to first. That's a double play. 6-4-3. Lamb is retired. Farr is retired as well. And there are 2 outs now with the bases empty. Domi is trying to face the minimum in this top of the 6th inning. He'll have to get through Spencer Wiskus. Wiskus is 1 for 2 in the game with a sacrifice fly, 2 RBIs total. He drives this one out to left field, but foul for strike 1. There's another pitcher warming up the bullpen right now for St. Francis, so we may be on our way to seeing our 6th hurler of the day. Ball 1 on Wiskus, 1-1. Don't want to overuse anyone. Several of the guys who pitched today would, you would think, still be available tomorrow, certainly for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Ball outside, 2-1. With Mount Mercy hitting well early in the game, they were able to chase Kevin Cardis after just 3 1/3 innings. Bullpen for St. Francis is going to be used heartily in this one as that ball is flown out to right field. Travis Schoonover towards the line makes the catch, and the inning is over. Thanks to the double play, it turns out like a 1-2-3 inning. Now we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. St. Francis still has some work to do. They trail 7-3. Bottom of the 6th inning, 7-3. Mount Mercy leads St. Francis, and the Fighting Saints are coming back to the bat. Tanner Lohaus is still out there for Mount Mercy. Brock Adams has been throwing in the bullpen as the first pitch of the inning misses outside to Sean Harper, 1-0. So Adams is ready to go if and when he's needed, but Lohaus is at least given the opportunity to start the inning. Harper swings and misses to even the count. Sean Harper's had a big day so far, 4 for 5 in the doubleheader. He got a single, a triple, an RBI, and a run in game 1. He's got 2 singles and an RBI in game 2. He takes low. It's 2-1. Harper, Maffey, and Schoonover due up this inning. Ball inside. It's 3-1 from Lohaus to Harper. Hitters count here for Sean Harper, who swings and grounds it to third. Wiskus has it. Wiskus throws across the diamond. This time it's on the money for out number 1. Wiskus has made a couple of nice plays over there at third. He's also made a few errant throws. That time, though, a perfect strike to Jake Farr on the other side of the diamond. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. It's the 5th time in 6 innings today that the leadoff man has been retired. The only time he wasn't was the 5th when Travis Schoonover walked and then scored. So Lohaus has seen that getting the leadoff man on has been good for St. Francis. That was their best inning of the game. Maffey takes strike 1. Maffey is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. He grounds this ball sharply to Whiskey, bobbled, but he keeps it in front of him. Another strong throw to first, an accurate throw. And back-to-back 5-3 putouts open up the bottom of the 6th inning, 2 down. Travis Schoonover is the last hope for St. Francis offense in the 6th inning. Second time in this game that Lohaus has retired the first 2 batters of an inning. Now he'll try for his first 1-2-3 inning. Schoonover walked and scored in the 5th. He's flown out and grounded out. He takes a strike. Saints have left 7 men on base in this game. Schoonover takes a ball inside. 1-1. That includes 2 last inning, which was their most productive offensive inning, when they scored 2 runs on just 1 hit. Schoonover takes strike 2. Lohaus is 1 strike away from ending the 6th. He's got 3 strikeouts so far in the game, looking for number 4 right here. The 1-2 bounces in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Lohaus' next offering misses the inside corner from 1-2. Count has gone to 3-2. John Peterson stands in the on-deck circle for the Fighting Saints. Lohaus looking for a shutdown frame, and he's got it as Schoonover chases one outside for strike 3. First 1-2-3 inning of the game for the Mount Mercy ace, and we'll head to the 7th inning with 3 still to play. Our score is Mount Mercy 7, St. Francis 3. Nick Supel leads things off in the top of the 7th inning for a Mount Mercy team that has a 4-run lead on St. Francis. Tyler Domi back on to pitch. He's gone an inning and a third so far and has not allowed a run. First pitch to Nick Supel is taken for ball 1. He's 3 for 3 in this game. 2 singles, a double, 3 RBIs. Ground ball up the middle, out over second base. Carraro makes a sliding stop, throws to first from his knees, but no chance to get him. It's an infield single for Supple. He's 4 for 4. And the leadoff man reaches base yet again for Mount Mercy. Second straight inning that's been the case. Mustangs scored a run, 2 runs in fact, in the first inning. They got 4 in the second, and then added 1 more in the 4th inning. They've been held scoreless the last 2. Snap throw down to first, not in time to get Supple. The count is 1-0 on Colin Schrader. Schrader today 0 for 2 with 3 flyouts. 2 of them to left, 1 to center. One of those was a sacrifice fly. Here's the 1-0 to the shortstop. Lined into left field. Harper comes on, slides, and makes the catch. Great play by Harper. Second time he's made a diving grab today. Supple is forced to return to first base. And there's 1 out in the inning. That makes it Michael Barbado's turn. Barbado is still looking for his first hit of the doubleheader. He's 0 for 6, including 0 for 3 in this one. He takes a ball low, 1-0. Tyler Domi's gotten some good defense behind him the last few innings. He turned a double play in the 6th. Helped turn that into a shutdown inning and a diving catch out in left field in this inning. Now a chopper to the shortstop. Carraro gets in front of it, throws to second, and gets the force. 6-4 fielder's choice. Peterson does not bother with a relay throw over to first. No chance to get the fleet-footed Barbado. But they'll take the 1 out they do get on the play. 2 gone in the inning. And it's all up to Lyle Feeney now. Speaking of good defense, Lyle Feeney hit the ball hard out to left field his last time up, and Harper made a really good play on that one. It was not a dive. That time he was going backwards and was just able to reach up, make the grab on the run. Ball 1 on Feeney here. But the outfield defense has been superb from left today. One ball, no strikes from Domi. 2 outs, a man at first base. There's a fly ball into right field. Travis Schoonover chases it back. Schoonover can't reach it. That ball rolls to the warning track. Here comes around third base. Barbado is able to score, and it's a triple for Lyle Feeney, making it 8-3, Mount Mercy. Barbado scores the run. He reached on the fielder's choice. And Feeney, who put a charge into one his last time up, but was robbed by the left fielder Sean Harper, hit the ball similarly this time, but out to right field instead. Schoonover tried to make a similarly impressive catch, and it was just inches out of his reach. So Feeney hits the RBI triple to make it a 5-run game once again. And there's a man at third now with 2 down for Nick Traisman. Traisman is 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch in this game. Takes ball 1 low and away. Mount Mercy bullpen is active again. Brock Adams is loosening up. Adams has been throwing off and on the last couple of innings. Seems as though we'll probably see him in the bottom of the 7th. Strike over the outside corner, 1-1. The leadoff single for Nick Supple has turned out to be a big one for Mount Mercy, as that ball just hugs the third base line and stays in. A hit for Traisman. Feeney scores. Traisman heads to second, where he is thrown out. Trying for a double, he ends the inning, but the run came in before the out at second base, and it counts. So it's an RBI single for Traisman, and the Mustangs get those 2 runs back that St. Francis scored a few innings ago. As we head into the bottom of the 7th, it's now 9-3 Mount Mercy. Out of the bottom of the 7th inning, 9-3, Mount Mercy leads St. Francis. New pitcher for the Mustangs, it's Brock Adams. Adams is all warmed up, told he needed to get a new glove. The gray one was a little distracting. So he's got the black on now, and he's ready to go. His first pitch misses low to John Peterson for ball 1. Brock Adams replaces Tanner Lohaus, who went 6 innings and allowed 3 runs, only 1 of them earned. He struck out 4 in the game. Called strike, 1-1. Gave up just 5 hits. He hit a couple of batters, walked a couple of batters, and he's in line for his 2nd victory of the year. And the team's 2nd. There's a called strike. That was 1-2. Brock Adams this season has appeared in 2 prior games, one of them out of the bullpen, no record. He has a 4.50 ERA. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. In 4 innings this year, Adams has allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 6 hits with 4 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Ones have hit .400 against him. Peterson trying to become the next man to get a hit off of Brock Adams. He stands into the 2-2 count. Lines it to the right side, sinking in front of the second baseman Traisman, who scoops it up on a hop and throws out Peterson at first base, 1 down. Leadoff batter is retired for the 6th time in 7 innings here in Game 2. And that brings up Josh Tesh. Tesh, the third baseman, has reached base twice without a hit. Once on a fielder's choice, once on an error. He has 1 run. Ball 1 outside. 1-0 on Tesh. He and St. Francis scored 2 runs in the 5th inning. He scored 1 of them. They had just 1 hit in that inning that brought home 2 runs thanks to an error and a walk and a hit by pitch. Ball high, 2-0. They scored 1 run in the 2nd inning. RBIs have come in this game from Sean Harper and Adam Cebulka. Third run scored on an error. Flown out of play to the right side. 2-1. Mount Mercy, though, has had an answer whenever St. Francis has put anything on the board. We're up at 1 point, 6-0. St. Francis scored 1. Mount Mercy scored 1 right back to make it 7-1. Tesh flies this one into shallow right. Cale Lamb comes in and makes the catch. 2 outs. Fighting Saints scored those 2 runs in the 5th inning to make it 7-3. It looked like they were making it a ball game. And the next inning, Mount Mercy responded with 2 of their own. No matter what the Fighting Saints have done, the Mustangs have kept this one at arm's length. 6 runs, if that's what an arm's length is, 6 runs, then that's the length that they've kept it at. Because it's constantly seemingly been 6 in this game. Kevin Rada takes ball 1 outside. 1-0. Rada has been hit by 2 pitches in this game. 0 for 1 with a ground out. Ball up and in, 2-0. Brock Adams sets for the next offering to Rada. A high fly to right field. It's shallow. Long run in for Lamb towards the line, and he can't get to it. Plops in just inside that foul line for a base hit. And a 2-out man aboard for St. Francis, bringing up Foster Heisey. Rada is aboard for the 3rd time in this game. It's his first hit. In fact, it's his first hit of the entire doubleheader, but he's had a very productive twin bill. He had an RBI in Game 1. Here in Game 2, he's been on 3 times. Heisey is 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a fly out. Had a big play his last time up, though, in the 5th inning. As he takes strike 1. Came up with 1 out and a man on first base. He hit a ground ball that looked initially like it might be an inning-ending double play. He hustled down the line, was able to beat it to first base. That kept the inning alive for the Saints to score another run. Right now he's behind in the count 0-1 with 2 outs and a man at first base. 9-3 game in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 0-1 from Adams. Ground ball right back to Adams. Fielded on a hop. He flips it over to first base. And that's out number 3. 1-3 on the put out there. And we've played 7 full innings at DuPage Medical Group Field. Our score is Mount Mercy 9, St. Francis 3. Top of the 8th inning in Joliet. St. Francis trails Mount Mercy 9-3. New pitcher for the Fighting Saints. It's right-hander Alex Lemons. Lemons, the freshman out of Waubonsie Valley High School, on for the 3rd time in his college career. He has no record and a 2.45 ERA. He faces Joshua Nyans to lead off the 8th inning. And the first pitch is taken over the outside corner for strike 1. Lemons in 3 2/3 innings this year has allowed 1 run on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. There's 0-1 offering to the Mount Mercy center fielder. Misses outside. Ball 1. Lemons replaces Tyler Domi. Domi allowed a couple of runs last inning, but was otherwise effective. Ball outside, 2-1. Came in, looked good when he started. He came on for Colin Kelly, who had gone an inning and a third of relief. Ended up going 2 1/3 innings. Grounded to third base. Josh Tesh fields it cleanly. Throw to first is in time. 1 up, 1 down in the 8th. Domi was strong for an inning and a third, and then with a couple of outs in the 7th inning, back-to-back hits, scored 2 runs for Mount Mercy. And that's how Domi's day ended. The second of those back-to-back 2-out hits ended with Tradesman getting thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. Strike 1 called on the leadoff man, Cale Lamb. Nobody's been able to do much with him today. He's been on base every time up. All 7 in the 2 games of the doubleheader. He pops this ball foul to the right side, out of play. Count is 0-2. One of those was an error. So he hasn't had a perfect day, technically speaking. But it's been just about as close to perfection as it gets. Ball outside, 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lemons has looked good here in the 8th inning. Back-to-back outs recorded, a ground out, now a strikeout. And that brings up the number 2 hitter, Farr. We'll try to keep this inning alive. Lemons looking for the second 1-2-3 inning of the game for St. Francis pitching. He's the first man to retire Cale Lamb today. Fouled off to the right side and out of play. Strike 1 on Jake Farr. Farr has singled and walked in this one. 4 trips to the plate total. He's also grounded into a double play. Count is even on him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pop-up foul to the right side, out of play. 1-2. St. Francis took the opener of this doubleheader by 6 runs, 8-2. Mount Mercy trying to make it even with a 6-run win of their own. If this score holds, it'll be a rubber match tomorrow. Ball outside, 2-2. They meet up at 1 p.m. right here at DuPage Medical Group Field tomorrow afternoon for a single 9-inning game. Tapped foul. Farr just does stay alive. Count is 2-2. Two outs and the base is empty. Shadows have set in all over the field. All 9 players now standing in the shade. Lined out to right field, and that drops in front of Travis Schoonover down the line. Schoonover to his left is able to cut it off. Hold Farr to a single, but he's on base for the 3rd time in this game. And Spencer Wiskus will hit with 2 outs and a man on first base as the Mustangs look to strike once again with 2 outs and add to their already substantial lead. Saints have Ceboka, Ferraro, and Harper due up. They're 6, 7, and 8 hitters. In the bottom of the 8th inning, if they want to have any chance at a comeback in this game, they're going to need to do it pretty soon. First things first, they've got to shut down the Mustangs' offense. Make sure that they're not able to add any more to this lead. New base runner at first base is James Christensen, pinch running for Jake Farr. Lemons glances over his left shoulder to take a look at him. And now the first pitch, over for strike 1. Spencer Wiskus has had a few big moments in this one. 2 RBIs in game 2. RBI single in the 2nd inning, a sacrifice fly way back in the 1st. He takes the ball up and in, 1-1. This sacrifice fly is the one that made it 1-0 Mount Mercy. They've held that lead ever since. We're about 20 minutes away from sunset. Still plenty of light in the sky, but the lights are in full effect now. Ball downstairs, 2-1. Lemons retired the first 2 batters of the inning. Farr singled. Now it's 2-1 on Wiskus. Ground ball to the right side. Peterson moves to his left, scoops it up, throws to first. The inning is over. We're on our way to the bottom of the 8th inning. St. Francis trails Mount Mercy 9-3. Bottom of the 8th inning, St. Francis trails by 6, 9-3. Fighting Saints will try to make their comeback with Cibulka, Carraro, and Harper starting things off in this bottom of the 8th. And Cibulka takes ball 1 outside. He's been on base twice in today's game. A couple of singles, an RBI, and a run scored. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off to the right side into the Mount Mercy dugout. Now he's 1-1. Brock Adams is in for his 2nd inning of work. He gave up a single, but nothing else in the 7th inning after coming in for Tanner Lohaus, who pitched a solid 6. Lohaus's bottom of the 6th inning is the only perfect inning for a Mustangs pitcher in this game. Ball inside, 2-1. Saints have had a lot of base runners. They haven't been able to capitalize as often as they'd like. They have scored 3 runs, and if they end up losing this one, it's going to be less about their offense than about their pitching, but they've left 8 men on base, which is not a number they like at this stage of the game. Ball low and in. Count is 3-1. There's new first baseman for Mount Mercy. Trey Roberson is back in there. Roberson played the entire first game at first base. Ground ball down the third base line. Nice backhanded stop. Wasn't gloved cleanly, though, by Wiskus, and his throw to first is not nearly in time. Cibulka has his 2nd infield single of the game, 3rd hit in total. And the leadoff man is aboard for St. Francis. He'll depart. Dolan Nicholson will come in as the pinch runner. Runner at first base, nobody out. Sean Harper's coming up. Excuse me, no, Carraro. Harper on deck now. Good day for Cibulka at the plate. He's reached base now 5 times in 2 games. Noah Carraro is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, once on a bunt. He's also struck out. He grounds this one to short. Scooped up by Schrader. The flip to second for the force is all they get. Nick Traisman threw it over to first base a little bit late. Carraro runs well, and he was running hard down that first base line to make sure to avoid the double play. 6-4 put out. Man on first now with 1 down. And now it's Sean Harper. 2 for 3, couple of singles and an RBI in this game. Ball downstairs, 1-0. Throw to first base, and Carraro dives back to the bag safely. Saints are down to their final 5 outs in this one. 6 more runs to tie it up. Ball high. Count is 2-0. Eric Maffey waits in the on-deck circle. Harper's trying to give him a couple of base runners. He flies this ball to shallow center field. Charging in from center is Nyans. Nyans can't make the play. It drops in. Carraro advances to second base. Harper is aboard for the 3rd time in the game. The ball appeared to be playable, if not for Nyans, then for the shortstop, Colin Schrader. There appeared to be some miscommunication. Nyans came in and dove at the last second and was a little bit late. And so now there are 2 men on base with only 1 out, and Maffey is the hitter. Eric Maffey's 0 for 3 today. He's gone out just about every way he can. He has struck out, flown out, and grounded out. Now with 2 men on, he's looking for his first RBI of the game. He chops it down the third base line. That's a foul ball. Goes for strike 1. Well, there's a lot of ways that Maffey can advance the runners here without himself getting on base, but I don't think the Saints are looking for any of those right now. Needing 6 runs with just 5 outs to play with. They can't waste a single out. Every at-bat is important from here on out. The 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Brock Adams has now allowed 3 hits to the 7 batters that he's faced. So similar to his numbers coming in, his ERA was fine, but he'd given up a lot of hits. Today he has not allowed a run in an inning and a third, but he has given up a .429 batting average. Maffey trying to tack on a few more points to that. It takes a strike. It's 2-2. 1-2, sorry. Nobody throwing in the bullpen for Mount Mercy. This is Adams' game for the moment. Not too many strong options on that pitching staff right now, at least statistically, based on the way this season has started. Their team ERA is nearly 7. Strike 3 called. Maffey goes down looking. So now he's been retired on a fly out, a ground out, a strikeout swinging, and a strikeout looking. Different way every time up, but he hasn't had success today at the plate. And it's up to Travis Schoonover now. He likewise has not had a lot of success at the plate in this game. Entered play hitting .300 for the season. He's 0 for 3. He has walked and scored 1 of the 3 runs. He's flown out, grounded out, and struck out in his other 3 at-bats. Ball downstairs, 1-0. It's Carraro at second base. He reached on a fielder's choice. Harper's at first. He got on via a bloop single. Schoonover takes a strike, 1-1. Adams sets for the 1-1 offering to the left-handed hitting Schoonover. He shows bunt. Pulls the bat back and takes a ball, 2-1. Again, the Saints are looking for a big inning here, even with 2 outs. Schoonover showing a lot of confidence in John Peterson hitting behind him if he is actually intending to drop down a bunt. He's shown it, and Spencer Wiskus has taken 1 step in, but that's all. It's still behind the bag. Outside on that one, it's 3-1. A walk would load the bases for John Peterson, who had the big, not quite game-winning, but the hit that put the game away in Game 1. That 3-run inside the park home run in the bottom of the 4th inning. That was just a 7-inning game, so scoring 6 in the bottom of the fourth did essentially end it. Hard grounder out to right field, a base hit for Schoonover. Noah Carraro comes in to score. It's a 9-4 game on the RBI single from Travis Schoonover. Harper heads all the way to third on that play. It's the third hit of the inning, the fourth in the last 2 innings off of Brock Adams. Saints are back within 5. For Travis Schoonover, that is the first RBI of the season, which is a little bit surprising considering it was his 8th hit in 8 games played. First time it came with a man in scoring position. Here's John Peterson. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. He takes a strike. Adams looks at the runner at first base, sets for the 0-1. Ball outside, 1-1. Runner at third base for St. Francis. They trail by 5. Peterson hits it sharply on the ground right at the second baseman. Traisman throws to first and the inning is over. Saints get 3 hits but manage just 1 run. They leave them at the corners as we head to the 9th. Our score is 9-4 Mount Mercy. Nine to 4, Mount Mercy leads St. Francis in the top of the 9th inning. New pitcher for the Fighting Saints, Kyle Massaro, is in. 3rd appearance of the year, no record. He's got a 3.6 ERA. In 5 innings, he's allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 7 hits with 4 strikeouts and a walk. His first pitch is chopped foul down the third base line for strike 1. Nick Supel, who's had a big game. 4 hits, 3 RBIs for Supel in this one. Came into play today with no hits on the season. He had been 0 for 7. There's a called strike. The count is 0-2. Alex Lemons pitched the 8th inning for the Fighting Saints. Gave up a hit, but no runs. No walks. He struck out one. Good outing for him. Ground ball right side and through for a hit. Another one for Supple. Huge day for him. He's now 5 for 5 with 3 runs batted in this game. He's 6 for 8 in the doubleheader with 4 RBIs. And that time on an 0-2 pitch, he's able to slap one into right field. So a man at first base. Nobody out, and the batter will be Colin Schrader. Every time today it seems that when St. Francis has scored, Mount Mercy has come right back and gotten one on their own. Maybe 2. And they're trying it again right here. St. Francis just scored one. Now Mount Mercy's trying to get it back with the leadoff man on first base. Schrader is the batter. He shows bunt, takes a strike, snap throw it on a first. Not in time to get the runner. Now runner is not Nick Supple. It's Caden Smith. Smith is the pinch runner. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Kyle Massaro is the 5th pitcher to be used by Brian Mahalik team in this game. They've used up 7 total in the doubleheader. They've only used 10 pitchers this season. 7 of them have thrown today. There's a sharp grounder to short. Could be 2. Carraro to Peterson to Heise in time. 6-4-3. 2 down. Schrader hits into the double play. Caden Smith's day on the base paths is not very long. And there are 2 outs with the bases empty for Michael Barbato. Barbato is still looking for his first hit in the doubleheader. And it looks like he's got it. He had been 0 for 7, but a solid single to left field on his first swing of this at-bat. Second hit of the inning for the Mustangs. They've got a man at first base with 2 down. 9-4 lead. Batter is Lyle Feeney. Feeney hit an RBI triple back in the 7th inning. He's gone 1 for 4 in the game. We've got another pinch runner over at first base. Rather than Barbato running, it'll be Michael Perry taking the spot over at first. Massaro, the right-hander, steps to the mound, stands on the third base side of the rubber and stares in at Adam Cibulka to get the sign. There's his first pitch, just a little bit inside on Feeney, 1-0. St. Francis in the bottom of the 9th inning as Tesh, Rada, and Heise due up. They're 3, 4, and 5 batters. Not a bad trio. They'll need more than that to hit, though, as they're chasing 5 runs or more. Ball outside, 2-0. Massaro's trying to make sure it is a 5-run game when we come out for the bottom of the 9th. He had 2 outs and the base is empty, but a sharp single by Michael Barbato means that there is a man aboard with 2 down as Feeney takes the strike. It's 2-1. Righty to righty, the next pitch hits the inside corner. 2-2. Massaro is 1 strike away from putting a 0 on the board for the top of the 9th inning. Nolan dips away from the plate. And it loads up the count. Feeney was able to lay off of it. 3-2. On the Mount Mercy catcher. If he reaches, Nick Traisman bats next. If Massaro can get him on this 3-2 offering, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Quick look to the runner at first base, and now the payoff pitch. Outside, he walked him. The first time that a St. Francis pitcher has walked a Mustangs batter in a while. There was a big problem with control early in the game, but that's the first walk since the first inning. There have been 3 hit by pitches since then, but no other walks. And now back-to-back base runners with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Means Nick Traisman gets to bat with a man in scoring position and a chance to put this game away once and for all. Instead, he taps the first pitch right back to the pitcher. Massaro tosses over to first, and the inning is over. Despite 2 hits and a walk, the Mustangs don't score in the 9th. They'll have to settle for a 5-run advantage as we go to the bottom of the last inning. Last chance coming up for the Saints. They trail 9-4. Bottom of the 9th inning, last chance for St. Francis. They trail 9-4, and the first pitch of the inning is over for a strike on Josh Tesh. Tesh is the number 3 hitter for the Fighting Saints. He has 1 run scored today without a hit. Ball outside. That was 1-1. Michael Perry has stayed in the game for Mount Mercy to play to play center field. And Joshua Nyans has moved from center to left. So a couple of pinch runners for the Mustangs last innings. They had to make a change. That's it. Perry's in center, Nyans in left, and a strike on Tesh. It's 1-2. Brock Adams is still pitching. Adams is on for his 3rd inning. He's been shaky, but he's been able to get through some tough spots. He's allowed just 1 run in 2 innings, despite giving up 4 hits. Ball outside, 2-2. Tesh and then Rada. Foster Heisey due up after that. If anybody reaches base, we'll see Adam Cebulka, who's had a big day at the plate today. 2-2. Chopped down the third base line. That's a foul ball. Still 2-2. Saints took the opener 8-2. Mount Mercy leads Game 2 9-4. Game 3 of this series tomorrow afternoon. Fly ball into right field, and it hangs up in the air long enough for Cale Lamb to get over and make the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the 9th. Leadoff batter has been retired in 7 out of 9 innings of this game by the Mustangs pitchers. 6 innings for Tanner Lohaus, and now 3 innings for the reliever Brock Adams. There is somebody up and loosening in the bullpen for Mount Mercy, but he's not throwing hard. Soft toss at the moment, so I'm sure just getting loose in case of emergency in this game. Kevin Rada is the batter. He's had a nice day at the plate. 1 for 2 with a single. He's been hit by 2 pitches. So he's been on base 3 times in 4 trips. He swings in the first one, flies it down the right field line. Long run for Lamb, and Lamb can't reach it. Not able to cut it off either. It rolls down to the corner, and that gives Rada a chance to easily make it into second base. It's a one-out double. Saints are not going away just yet. They've had a productive day offensively, at least in terms of getting base runners. That was their 10th hit of the day. They haven't been able to get the clutch hits consistently that they've been looking for. They have left 10 men on base through 8 innings. Try to avoid that here in the 9th as they look to put up a big number on the board. Foster Heisey is the batter. He's 0 for 4. He's had a few good swings, but nothing to show for them. Takes ball 1 off the outside corner. Brock Adams sets for the 1-0. Ground ball to the right side of the infield. Traisman scoops it up. The second baseman throws out Heisey at first base, and there are 2 down. St. Francis down to their final out. Last hope is Adam Cibulka, and he's the guy who's been swinging the bat about as well as anybody today. Cibulka and Sean Harper have had the 2 most productive days. So not a bad guy to have up as your last chance, but they need to get on a roll here. They're going to need 4 or 5 base runners in a row. Cibulka is 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. 2 outs, a man at third base. And the first pitch to Cibulka is a strike. Adams trying to wrap this one up. He sets for the 0-1 pitch. Fouled back, it's 0-2. Adams now 1 strike away from earning the doubleheader split. Both teams coming into play today had 1-6 records. Now the Mustangs look to leave with identical 2-7 marks. Righty versus righty, the 0-2 coming. It's in the dirt, it skips away. Runner from third tries to score, and he's safe. So Kevin Rada crosses the plate, makes it 9-5. He doubled, moved to third base on a ground out, and now he scores on a wild pitch. It's 1-2 on Cibulka. It's a nice result there. They get another run on the board, but ultimately it doesn't change anything. They still need 4 or 5 base runners in a row to have any shot in this one. And Cibulka is down to his final strike. Adams once again looking to put him away. The 1-2 pitch. A little bit low for a ball. The count now moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Cibulka does reach, Noah Carraro will hit next. Adams still pitching from the stretch with no one on base. Sets for the 2-2. Got him swinging, strike 3, and there's your ball game. Final score, 9-5 in favor of the visiting Mount Mercy Mustangs. They took a 6-0 lead in the second inning, and they were able to coast the rest of the way. The Saints tried to play comeback a couple of times, but ultimately they fall short in a 4-run defeat. So each team takes 1 as part of this doubleheader. The Saints won the opener 8-2. They were feeling mighty good about themselves after the way this day started, but game 2 was very decisive in favor of the visitors. Mount Mercy jumped out to a 6-0 lead early. You look back to the first inning, they got 2 runs in on a couple of sacrifice flies from Colin Schrader and Spencer Wiskus, and then thanks to back-to-back hit-by pitches in the second inning, they were able to mount a 4-run rally. They got an RBI single from Cale Lamb, one of the 7 times he reached base in today's doubleheader. And then they got an RBI single from Wiskus and a 2-run double from Nick Supple. And they never were really threatened seriously after that. Saints were able to score 1 in the 4th inning, 1 in the 2nd inning on an RBI single from Sean Harper. They added 2 more in the 5th. They got an RBI base hit from Adam Cibulka in that inning. They were within 4 runs at 7-3, but Mount Mercy was able to put it away with 2 late scores. They got an RBI triple from Lyle Feeney and then an RBI single from Nick Traisman. That made it 9-3, and that was just about it. The Saints did add single runs in the last 2 innings, getting an RBI single from Travis Schoonover, and then Kevin Rada doubled and scored on a wild pitch in the 9th. But that was all. 9-5 our final score. Each team takes 1 game, and both teams are now 2-7 for the season. This was the 2nd victory of the year for the starting pitcher Tanner Lohaus of Mount Mercy. He improves to 2-1. Kevin Cardis takes the loss for the Fighting Saints, and Cardis, with that defeat, falls to 0-2 on the year. These teams will see each other once more this weekend. A 1 o'clock start time to tomorrow's finale of this 3-game series. It's right here at DuPage Medical Group Field, and you can watch it here through the USF Sports Network as always. So make sure you're tuned in at 1 o'clock if you're not out at the ballpark tomorrow on what should be a much nicer day. Temperatures are supposed to be in the 50s and hopefully sunny tomorrow as it was today, as the Saints and Mustangs duel one more time. Once again, our final score in today's doubleheaders. In today's doubleheader, Game 1, 8-2 in favor of St. Francis. Game 2, 9-5 in favor of Mount Mercy. And that'll do it from DuPage Medical Group Field. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself over the last few hours. Until tomorrow, it's Terry Bonadonna here signing off for the University of St. Francis. Good night.